in this combined concept example, I'm going to work through one that involves the idea of work and projectile motion. So here we have a block of mass m, and it has some initial velocity v naught. And it's traveling along this frictionless portion of a level table, which means it's just going to keep that same velocity that whole time. And then while on the table, the block encounters a friction patch. And the coefficient of friction varies with position. So this coefficient of friction varies with position. Anytime we start seeing something that varies with position, we're going to start thinking about work, because that means we're probably going to have to integrate with respect to dx, not dt, and that means probably work. And x equals 0 at the start of the rough patch, and the rough patch is a length L. So after going through the rough patch, it's going to slow down a little bit, but it keeps going. So it just slows down some amount. It's going to keep going, and then it flies off the edge of the level table and then strikes the ground below. So it's a horizontal two-dimensional launch. We're given the height of the table h, and we're asked how far horizontally does it land from the edge of the table. So I identify this as a two-step problem. The reason I know that it is a two-step problem is because I can think about the motion and what's happening. So for example, the block comes in, there's nothing that's happening from this image in the picture until it hits the rough patch. So there's nothing there. There's nothing to analyze. So that doesn't count. And so then during the rough patch, what's going to happen during the rough patch is I have a variable friction force that varies with position, and it's going to slow down, right? So it's going to slow down, and it's going to slow down because there's some work done on it. There's also, yes, there's a force acting on it, but the force varies with position, not time, and so work is a much more straightforward way to go about calculating this. And so we can then know that the work done by friction will equal the change in the kinetic energy. So I'll be able to actually find the speed at the end of the rough patch. So then I think, okay, there's a concept I can apply to that part of the motion. What happens after the rough patch? Well, after the rough patch, it's just going to travel to the edge of the table, and then it gets launched off the table and strikes the ground. So in this portion of the motion, right, that's really just our typical projectile motion. So 2D projectile motion. And then it's done, the problem's over. So really, if you just kind of take the motion and you just go bit by bit by bit, and you apply a concept everywhere you think you can, then you count up however many steps you have, and that's your combined concept. If I want to write this out in terms of my plan, my first plan would be to use, and I'm going to call this the work kinetic energy, so the work kinetic energy theorem. That's how I'll denote it. And my goal there is to get the speed at the end of the rough patch. Because I know it's V naught to start, but I don't know what it is at L, at x equals L. And I need that because that's what it gets launched off the table with. So then that'll be my speed it gets launched off at the table. And then I'll use 2D motion with constant acceleration. And then to get, and this last part of a combined concept is always what the problem's asking for. And in this case, it's asking for D, so to get the distance, the horizontal distance. So that's my plan in words. And now let's go ahead and do it in equations. So for the first step, the work done in this case, there's no other forces that are going to be acting to slow it down in the horizontal direction. Yes, there's the normal force mg, but they're acting perpendicular to the displacement. So they're not doing any work. They're not changing the kinetic energy. So the only thing changing the kinetic energy is going to be the work of friction. So remember then that the work by friction is really just going to be, the integral, or in this case, it's normally the force of friction dx, or delta x, so the big thing that when it has some constant friction. But if you have a non-constant force, right, the work in general as you've learned in this module, is that work is from X initial to X final for a one-dimensional force like friction is of F sub X dx. And so we can then put in our friction force. We have to remember that it's going to be negative because F sub X and dx are pointing opposite each other, right? So for friction, so work sub F sub K, and I always tell you, you can use whatever the heck subscripts that you want to, because they're for your own good. They're there so that you can keep track of your work. You'll see eventually when we get to momentum, my subscripts start having like sentences in them so that I can clearly demonstrate what I'm talking about. So the work done by friction is going to be from X initial, so it starts X equals 0, ends at X equals L. For my force, my friction force is going to be, and I'll just write it here as F sub K to start, and I'm going to add my negative sign, and that's going to be because F sub K is opposite dx. And so F sub K dx. And remember, we want to keep our dx's and our dt's in the integral. You need to tell it what you're integrating with respect to. You don't plug in L or anything like that for that. Just this is what it would look like. So that's going to be equal to negative 0 to L, and then F sub K is mu sub Kn dx. And so I'm just doing this little by little because it's the first time that you've actually maybe seen integrating a friction force. And then mu sub K, we're given a function, and N is mg, right? So N would be, and let me go ahead and change the color here. So N equals mg, and mu sub K is equal to bx squared. So bx squared. So that's going to then allow us to write negative 0 to L, bx squared mg dx. So now we have something we can actually integrate. So what that means then is the work by friction is going to be equal to, and so now let's go ahead and execute that integral, negative bx cubed mg all over 3. So that's going to be my integral, bx cubed over 3. And I'm going to evaluate that from 0 to L. So my work done by friction is negative b L cubed mg over 3. So I'm almost done with this step, because now we know that the work by friction, or the work in general, because this is the only work that's going to be taking energy from the system, will be equal to the change in kinetic energy of this system. So that's going to be equal to 1/2 m v naught squared. 1/2 m v final squared, final minus initial, so 1/2 m v final squared minus 1/2 m v initial squared. So what I can do is just plug this in. I can say negative b L cubed mg over 3 equals 1/2 m v final squared minus 1/2 m, and then v initial was given to us as v naught. So I'm going to change the appropriate variable there only because that's what was defined in the problem. And now I can solve this for v final. So what we want from this step is we want v final, and again, that's the speed at the end of the rough patch. So I'm going to just go ahead and do the algebra. So I'm going to move the 1/2 mv squared over here. Actually, I'm going to multiply everything by 2 and then do that. So I'm going to have and divide by m. So I'm just going to have here v naught squared minus, and then 2b L cubed. My m's canceled from everything, so the m's can go away, times g all over 3. So I'm multiplying everything by 2 over m, basically. And then I move that one term over. Again, you can do the algebra however you feel comfortable. And then that's going to be equal to v final squared. So I can then just rewrite this v final, and this will be at the end of the rough patch. And so sometimes I might add in a v final 1, right? Because this would be like our first v final if there was multiple steps after, is just going to be equal to the square root of this. V naught squared minus 2b L cubed times g over 3. Does not have to look pretty to be right. So this is our result. That is step 1. Now we are ready to put this back to kind of remember where we were at. So that was using the work kinetic energy. We just found the speed at the end of the rough patch. Now that's our speed headed into our horizontal launch off of a table of height h. So now we can basically think of it as this is v final 1. It's a horizontal launch off of a height h. And so now we just have step 2, which is our 2g projectile. And I like to call it and remind myself that it's a horizontal launch because it just reminds us the important thing to know, and this hidden information, is that v naught y is 0. It's going horizontally off the table. So Vx equals v final 1. So if I'm going to divide up my x and my y in terms of what I know, my acceleration is negative g in the y direction. In x, I don't have any. What I want is delta x, which is going to be equal to Vx times time. So I need time from the y direction. The horizontal launch, and it starts, say, let's call the ground y final equals 0. So y initial is equal to h, y final equals 0. So in this case, for the y direction, I already wrote out the x equation. For the y direction, I need to get time. I can use the second equation, or the one that I call it the second equation, the 1/2 at squared, because that's the one without final velocity, and we use it a lot. So I'm going to have here y final equals y initial plus by initial t plus 1/2 ay t squared. And so now I can plug these in, and I can just say y final is equal to 0 is equal to h plus 0 plus 1/2 negative g t squared. And that lets us know then that t is equal to the square root of 2h over g. So we use the same equation a lot when we do our 1D motion. And now I can plug that in to my x. And so I can say here, I'll move this on to the next page, delta x equals Vx times the square root of 2h over g. And then Vx equals v final 1. So my final answer here is going to be this v final 1. So I'm going to take the square root of v naught squared minus 2b L cubed times g all over 3. And then multiply that by the square root of 2h over g. And again, it does not have to be pretty to be right. So that is our final result for this 2-step problem. Okay, let me know if you have any questions.